Wow, what a time. We're now in many parts of Canada testing and passing all-time record prices for gasoline. Well, you heard it right here in the forum. We talked about this many times that this would, in fact, be a likely outcome, and that we would see prices marching on an average to $1.60 to $1.65, which means, of course, Ontario, Quebec would have to start to see prices pushing well towards the mid 150s. Looks like we're going to get our wish, especially those who want higher gas prices. And that would be those who've been pushing the climate agenda and pushing carbon taxes, as well as proposing new carbon taxes like the clean fuel standard, as well as regulations to choke off investments in the oil and gas sector. The practical effect of that, by the way, is to drive down the value of the loonie, of the Canadian dollar. Why is that important? Well, think of it this way. It takes 127, 128 pennies to buy a US dollar. Last time we saw oil in $88 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate back in October of 2014, it took about 110 pennies. What's 17 cents, you say? An additional 10 cents on a liter of gasoline. So not only do you have an inflationary effect that no one wants to talk about, including economists, you now have a circumstance where on top of 10-cent plus carbon taxes increasing, the clean fuel standard, which will be a new carbon tax at the end of the year, which we call the second carbon tax. You now have the real effects of environmental, social, and governance taxes, which are leading to a much weaker Canadian dollar, as a result, destroying the purchasing power of every single Canadian. I'm going to be speaking to the House of Commons Finance Committee in about a week or so to talk about that point, because I think everyone's tiptoeing around it, but I don't have the luxury of doing that, especially when I'm predicting gas prices. And as a Liberal member of Parliament, I spent a considerable amount of time trying to find ways to help Canadians, not just in terms of predicting gas prices, but also, more importantly, getting them energy rebates, which I did in 2000 and 2002. It's a different day, but I think more and more Canadians are starting to pay attention. And they are, because if you look at Newfoundland's prices, $1.63 for a liter of gasoline, Quebec $1.61, 62, Ontario pushing to $1.54 by Sunday. The West is quiet right now. So that's Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, all in the 136 to 139 range. But I would expect a net increase there of 5 cents a liter sometime between now and next Tuesday. So brace for it. It's coming. It's only so long gas stations can hold off. The BC interior, look for many places like Kamloops, Kelowna, Prince George to push towards $1.59.9, call it what it is, $1.60 a liter, with, of course, Vancouver still holding out at $1.68, $1.70 a liter. What this really means, though, is not just gasoline, but diesel is also going up, and so is the price of natural gas. And much of this directly related to the fact that we have choked off the ability for many producers to do what they do best. And that's to produce more oil and natural gas, blocking pipelines, or having the President of the United States shut down a virtually built Keystone pipeline, which could have helped address the United States in its 1.5 million barrel a day shortfall. Yes, you heard me correctly. The United States pre-pandemic used to produce 13.1 million barrels of its own domestic oil a day. Right now, 11.6 million barrels. Guess where they're having to make up the difference? It can't be Canada, because we don't have pipelines to get it to the largest market in the world. They're actually having to get some of their product from Russia, which brings us, of course, into the geopolitical factor. The fight between Ukraine and Russia, should it become a war, isn't just about two countries. It's now about Europe, and having gone the route of denying, coal, oil, and natural gas, they now find themselves in the position of being vulnerable to whatever dictates Vladimir Putin can conjure up. It really means that the world has become geopolitically unstable as a result of our, quick, dramatic, and short-sighted pursuit of green energy. At the same time, it's also creating a circumstance where not many others are going to be able to come to the rescue of regions of the world that need more energy, not less. So this really is a time of awakening. I expect that right across Canada, Nima, we're going to be looking at an increase on the average of 3 or 4 cents a liter. Of course, things could come back a little bit if suddenly there's a resolution between Russia and Ukraine. That would be very helpful. We pray for that. But in the unlikely event that isn't happening, this is the first of many weeks where the national average in this country will be going up another 15 cents a liter towards $1.65, even for places like Ontario. Well, that's it for this week's energy review and prediction. We'll see you next week. Again, thanks for having me, Nima.